Hey y'all, it's Mary from Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Sunday night at 8 o'clock. So that's 8 o'clock Eastern for all of you following along. I'm going to move the camera. Hang tight. There, okay. So anyway, if you are joining me, I certainly do appreciate it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to refresh my screen over here off camera so that we can be sure that we're actually transmitting something and that Mr. Zuckerberg isn't messing with me today. So here we go. Looks like we've got a few folks watching. Hey, Robbie, how are you? Good to see you tonight. Hi, Amy. Glad you could join us. We'll wait just a few seconds until everybody gets in. Hi, Donna. Appreciate you joining me tonight. Always takes a second for all the comments to make their way through the interwebs and get to me. Hi, Donna. Hey, Jean. Nice of you to join. Hi, Jean. You and Donna on your vacation. I appreciate you joining in. Hello, Karen and Pat. Thank you. Hi, Mary. Paula. Hi. Analia. Hey, Barbara. Looks like we got quite a few folks tonight. Yay. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Holly. You know, Holly, I got to tell you, I keep wanting to say Polly. Holly, Paulson, Polly. And sometimes I try to write that and then I have to fix it. So if I ever screw that up, I apologize in advance. Hi, Marianne. Donna, Finn is right here well, actually he's in the dining room. Hi, Pat, you're sweet, thanks. Hey, Sue, Patricia. Wow, a lot of folks on today. Hi, Nancy and Karen. Yeah, so I do appreciate you spending a little time with me. You can see the card we've made. Now this is quite the kludge. We've got some new goodies, we've got some carrying over goodies, and we have a retiring stamp set. I don't know if you guys are tracking, but Thoughts and Prayers, which has been around forever and is a lovely little Sympathy stamp set, is retiring. So if you love this, you best get on it so that we don't run out before you can get it. So we're going to use that just a little bit later. You've been called Polly and Molly. All right. Hey, Denise. Thanks for joining. Hey, Karen. Thank you. Finn is in the kitchen. I've got the back door open because it is a balmy 67 here today. It's beautiful here today. And so he is sitting by the back door with it wide open and listening to the birds and threatening the squirrels. They're not very afraid, just so you know. All right. Okay, so here's the card. It is a sympathy card, which, if you can't tell because it says with deepest sympathy, I'm sorry. And it uses, get ready for it, uses the new Share What You Love specialty DSP, which is gorgeous, and oh, by the way, will be available on Tuesday for y'all. The Eclectic Layers framelits and the matching Oh So Eclectic stamp set, which is in the 2017-2018 annual catalog and is also carrying over. This sentiment right here with Deepest Sympathy is from the new Painted Glass stamp set. And then you can see we've got some leaves also from Eclectic Layers. This pretty teeth is the is a new dynamic embossing folder called the Lovely Floral Teeth, Dynamic Teeth, and it is very nice, very large image, and that's pretty. You can see nestled in here some of the 5/8 inch polka dot tulle ribbon, which is new. And then we've got some of the leaves trinkets. And when you buy these, you get them in silver and copper, so that's nice. Then on the inside, I just used one of the stamp sets, one of the images, the sentiments, sorry. I'll get the right word here in half a second. Hey, Denise, thank you. That's very sweet of you to say that. And yes, Barbara, he is improving every single day. This pretty sentiment is from Thoughts and Prayers, and it is stamped over an Oh So Eclectic flower. And this is Grapefruit Grove, and this is one of the colors you'll be able to get on Tuesday with the Share What You Love stamps bundle. All right? And then, of course, we have an envelope with matching front and flap. So let us commence, shall we? And I'm going to try to show you a Stamparatus trick that my friend Alicia sent me a video to. Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Verna. Thank you. And we'll get to that when we get to it. But for now, let us go ahead and commence, shall we? Now, I've done a little pre-cutting. I'm going to still have to do a little bit more with the Big Shot, but that'll be okay. I've cut some of the detailed flowers with the the Eclectic Layers thinlits. And remember, this is the fun die set where you can cut this pretty image out on a piece of cardstock and use just the negative, or you can add the outline die and cut the flower plumb out. And then you can also cut a solid flower to put behind your detailed flower, which is what I have done here. All right, and this is Petal Pink. It's the new beautiful pink in the Subtles collection. All right, we've got that. And then I also cut a few leaves from some Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. And we're going to cut another sentiment. The sentiment is this banner right here from the new Lakeside framelits. I love these two banners. You get one that's big enough for some actual sentiments. A lot of times, you know, banners seem to be too narrow to get a good sentiment on. So this one's a nice one to have in addition to all of the other great dies that are in that set. All right. Yes, ma'am, Judy. He is back to his old self. Finn is, he is really coming back. It was kind of funny today. I was looking for the pig. I always try to find the pig, especially with, Finn is off his leash now. So he's back to having the collar on, and he actually sort of remembers, as long as his mom remembers to turn it on, he remembers what it means. So that's good. But I always kind of like to get a bead on the pig so that I see him before Finn does. And today the pig popped up behind the barn, and Finn saw him, but he came right back to me, so that was good. Okay, let's look and see what we got. Here's a new blue color. This is called Balmy Blue. Hey, Sue. This is Balmy Blue. It's very pretty. It's going to take the sting off of losing Marina Mist for me, so I like that. And I have a card base that's 4 1/4 by 11, scored and folded at 5 1/2 as usual. Then we've got a couple of pieces. Oh, look at that. I got the wrong color. I don't need this color right here. I'll have to find another piece of that. This is Petal Pink. And hang on. I know I cut a piece. Here we go. We've got a piece for the card front. And then I have a mat for our middle layer, which is the embossed layer. And all of these die cuts will be on my website tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm still missing it. I'm doing a great job here today, people. Yeah, I'm all over it like white on rice, which is to say I'm not over it on it at all. So we'll just get that cut real quick. Gotta have 2 of those. And then I've got some Whisper White for the inner liner, another piece for my envelope flap, and an envelope, and just a spare piece for the sentiment. So let us commence, shall we? Put this aside. How many of these can I put aside at once? Okay, here we go. So first off, I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue. Thank you, Karen. The pig, you know what, you guys? I'm awfully afraid that the pig is, in fact, a yearling feral pig. And that kind of bums me out because he may end up not being as sweet as he currently is. Right now, he is not afraid of us so much as leery. So he's not letting us get very close to him, which is fine because I don't want to be very close to him. And he's cute. So I don't know. I really don't know the fate of Wilbur, whether he will end up being Wilbur Dethridge or whether he will finally realize that we are not his own people and he is going to move along. We've had a lot of rain, and so there's a creek bed behind us that has a lot of water in it, and I think that's pushed him out. I know we have wild pigs around. I've just never seen one. In the 15 years we've lived here, I have never seen a wild pig here. So it was a little shocking when he showed up the other day. Okay. Oh, I originally thought you cut the pieces to go around the cardstock instead of a whole piece of DSP. Oh, no. You could. If you were really trying to preserve your DSP, you could cut a rectangle out, but frankly, that's just more work than I want to do. So All right, I'm going to bring the Big Shot over and I'm going to emboss this balmy blue piece in the dynamic teeth like a bunya. All right. And I'm just kind of cheating the design. Can you see that? Oh, who said that? Who said feed him? Oh, Karen, you're so mean. I couldn't kill him in a million years. Now, my neighbor, he would come kill him in a heartbeat and then cook him up and probably call me over for ribs. But I just can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, so being that this is a dynamic teeth, you use the embossing platform, which is the platform without the thin die adapter, and just one cutting blade plate, okay? That's all you need. If you try to put two, it will be self-critiquing, and it just won't work. But you can see what a pretty impression that makes, right? All right, let me get this out the way until we need it again to cut the sentiment. All right, here we go. A little more liquid glue. And this is a nice deep impression. Can y'all see how much texture this gives you? It's beautiful. Beautiful. And I like that it's so large. You could actually just make an entire card where this was, in fact, the focal point of the card with just a sentiment, maybe a length of ribbon around it, and you'd be good to go in a heartbeat. But in this card, it is playing a supporting role. Okay, so look how pretty Balmy Blue is on Petal Pink. I like it. Are y'all seeing baby cards in your future? These are lovely new subtles. All right, here we go. Now, same thing, gonna use a little more, hi Dee, glad you're able to join us live today. Yeah, Sue, I probably couldn't eat any of them either. Yeah, I'm a wuss. You know, really, I ought to be a vegetarian. I'm such a sissy lala wussy face. I ought to be a vegetarian. Wayne and I discussed this the other day and said if we had lived, we wouldn't have been very good pioneers because we'd probably starved to death. Neither one of us is at all interested in killing the pig. Isn't that crazy? All right, here we go. So all I have done is just line this up right on the edge of my card front to create that layered effect. All right. Now we'll let that set for just half a second and do a little bit of gluing here. What I did is I cut some of the, it is a little peachy colored. Look, so this is Grapefruit Grove, and you can see there's some peach. This, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say is Blushing Bride, and you can see the difference there, right? Can you see that difference? Yeah, it does have a little peachy color in it. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is just quick like a bunny. I'm putting Grapefruit Grove detailed flowers on Petal Pink solid flowers and a Petal Pink detailed flower on a Grapefruit Grove solid flower. Power of threes, people, the power of threes. And I'm just using some liquid glue. Yes, I could have put an adhesive sheet behind it, but you know when I remember about adhesive sheets is right after I have cut out all of my detailed dies. And so I frequently do not do that. Also, you know, I just don't remember. Okay, so there's one. And it doesn't take very long, and it doesn't take very much glue. Okay, here we go. I really am happy that this particular set, although is carrying over, but don't forget, right now in the catalog, it's bundled, so you can save 10%. That's the Oh So Eclectic bundle with the Eclectic Layers Thinlits. but once it comes out in the new catalog on the 1st of June, you'll still be able to get the stamp set and the dies, but you will not be able to buy the bundle. So if you're loving it and you don't have it, save yourself 10%. Just saying, hey Lanny, how are you? I do that with adhesive sheets all the time. Yep. See, it's just out of my cross-check. I'm usually cooking along so fast, or sitting back in despair because I can't think of anything to make. You know, there's just days when the mojo's just not there, people. It's just not there. You know, the days when you're stressing over the pig and the dog and work and how to juggle work with a cruise. My passport came the other day. Just a small aside. It was so exciting. You know, passports are cool. I don't know if you guys have passports, but passports are really cool. They've got, like, you know, fun stuff on every page, and they're all in color and stuff. So it was kind of fun to look at it. My husband's hasn't come because, did you all know that there are multiple kinds of birth controls? Yeah, no, not that. Multiple kinds of birth certificates. Did you know that? There's multiple kinds of birth certificates. And the one that we sent in for my husband was apparently good enough to get married with, but was not good enough to get a passport. So we had to go through all of the mess, but I have no doubt that we will get it. Okay, so I have my flowers ready, and I have my leaves ready. And you can see this one is a little truncated because I ran out of space, so it's going to go up in the top, so it'll be okay. And let's see what else I need to get. What do I need to pull out here? Here we go, some of those leaves. Okay. All right, sorry. Okay, now this is going to be where I'm going to try to show you a technique that I learned. I watched a video for a yes, he did have to be born again to get the right birth certificate. That is correct. So anyway, my friend Alicia, who is another demonstrator who I got to hang out a little bit with at Onstage, sent me a video that was done by Cheryl Miller, who's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. And she has cracked the code on the Stamparatus. So let me show you how to use a positioning sheet. And I'm using the one from my Stamp-A-Majig to align stamps, like clear stamps. We all know photopolymers are easy, right? That's easy peasy. But the clear ones are a little harder, yeah? This still does not fix the problem for y'all who use wood stamps. Sorry, I don't have that solution yet, okay? But here's how we're going to do this, and you're gonna see the technique. Okay, so what we're building right now is the sentiment. And in fact, it really doesn't matter, of course, where I stamp the sentiment on this piece of white cardstock, because I'm just going to cut it out with a banner, with a die, okay? So, here we go. I am going to show you this technique. It's the technique that we're going to use. We're going to use this sentiment from Painted Glass right after I find a block. Here we go. I don't need a block because I'm using my Stamparatus. Okay, put this under here. All right. So the first thing you do is, let's pretend I really need my sentiment right here and I need it straight. So first I make it straight up and down. This birthday one isn't going to work. I mean, it would work, but, you know, not for this particular card. So let's use the right one. Oh, actually, I suppose we could make it. There we go. Okay, here we go. So first off, you make sure that your stamp is the right side up, and you generally put it where you want it, okay? So far, so good. Pick it up with your Stamparatus plate, okay? Now, take your positioner and put it in a corner. And remember which corner goes where. Melissa had actually written a C. So we'll do that, and that means corner. All right? Here we go. Ready? Okay. Okay, here we go. So let us first stamp this up, ink this up with Grapefruit Grove. Currently my favorite new color. I love, love, love this color. Okay, So we're going to ink that up, and then I'm stamping the positioner. Got it? Stamping the positioner, the acetate. Okay? Now, obviously, you can't really move the acetate, so what you do is you move the cardstock. So let's just pretend that this was straight. It's not, of course, but let's pretend it is. Can you pretend with me, everybody? Move the cardstock under the positioner until the sentiment, keep your acetate in the corner because that's what's aligned with where your stamp is, right? Okay. So hold with one finger, pick up the corner, and take your magnet to secure your cardstock in place. Y'all with me so far? Okay. Pick up your positioner, re-ink your stamp, boom. Okay? All right. So then I'm going to cut this out right after I set it aside. Did y'all see how I did that? We'll do another one. I'll do it on the back of this because it doesn't matter. Okay. So I've already positioned my stamp roughly where I want it. I've picked it up with the Stamp-N-Lingers acrylic. Then I've put my positioner in the Stamp-N-Lingers with my C up in the corner, inked up my stamp, and stamped the positioner. Then I can move my cardstock, not the positioner, the cardstock, to get it lined up how I want. Then pick up the corner of the positioner, place your magnet so that your cardstock doesn't move, pick up the positioner, ink your stamp, and good to go. And then let's just pretend that wasn't a good enough image. Now you get to reap the benefits of the Stamp-N-Lingers. All right? Parfait. All right, so now I'm going to cut this out. First I'm going to get my stamp cleaned off. Hang on just a second. All right, there we go. And pick this up and put my magnet back in and set Mr. Stampopotamus aside. And then I'm going to use that large lakeside framelit and cut out my sentiment. Now, what I did is I hedged it a little bit to the far right because I'm going to cover this portion up. So you see that? So I'm just hedging it a little bit to the right. All right, just like that. Hang tight. I'll be right back. Are y'all murmuring amongst yourselves? I'll just take your word for it. You don't even have to tell me because I can't hear you anyway. I can't hear you murmuring, and that is okay. All right. Here we go. And we'll set that aside. Okay, now let us commence to commencing, shall we? All right, to begin with, I used some glue dots, and these are glue dots from a paper pumpkin kit, right? It is a very formal font. It's very kind of gothic, but of course it goes with the stained glass, right, that is part of it, the suite that it's part of. So what I did is I just took some glue dots and I put them on my card front. See what we're making here? We're creating these loops of the 5/8 inch polka dot tulle ribbon. All right, so I just put them on the card front in a couple of 3 places, and I may need to add another one. We'll see. I'll just add it as I need it if I need it. In fact, I'll just wait there. Pick up my little covers. I really like these little paper pumpkin glue dots. They're really fun and easy. I like them a lot. Except that one's being persnickety. Okay, here we go. So all I really did, this was very scientific. I just started it, pushed it onto a glue dot, and then I gave it a flip and pushed it on a second glue dot, and then I'm gonna need a third one, and I'm just bringing it up here like this. So let's put a glue dot right there. There we go, like that. And I'm not going to worry about sticking them down too hard right now. And I'll just cut that off like that. Okay. So then we are all ready. Ah, Donna, good use of time. I like that. Hey, Sharon, glad you could join. Sorry you had computer problems. All right, so now I try to do some dry fitting usually. Because that helps me a lot. So basically my card is gonna be, that's gonna be my collage. And I'll use this kind of truncated leaves like that. And then this will go up here like that. And my sentiment will be stuck in there. All right, that works. So let's put the sentiment in, because I'm going to show you a little trick. And the sentiment can overlap a little bit, because it can go over into my card base. I like when it does that. Alrighty. I keep reaching for those other flowers, which of course will not work. Will not work. All right, and then somewhere in there I'm going to stick a few little pieces of a few of the leaf trinkets, okay? All right, yes, more covers to get on Finn's nose. That is correct. All right, so here's a little trick. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of, my husband is a welder, and when they weld things together, they do tack welds, which is a temporary or a small weld to kind of hold the pieces in place where they want them until they get the full weld on. So that is kind of what I'm doing here, is I'm tack welding these 3 flowers with just little bits of glue where they overlap. Because in truth, these are being popped on, these 2 are popped on with dimensionals. Okay, so just a little bit of glue. If you use more than a little bit, that's okay, because you're not going to take them apart. It's just, these are kind of to help you keep everything together. Okay? So now the flowers are kind of a fixed thing, and I've got enough room there to put a leaf when I need him to be there, so I can move him out of the way now. And now I will just use the liquid glue again. Hey Rosalie, glad to see ya. Who's going to be proud of me? Jean, I'm confused. Use a little liquid glue to put my leaves down. Like that. Pick that up. All right. Oh, lost it. Did you see that jump right out of there? All right, we'll put him right there like that. Never really sure, but all of my die cuts seem to be male. I always say put him. I never say put her. I don't understand. I'm confused about why that is. Okay, so now I'm going to take, are you ready? A few more. I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to pick up my flowers, and I'm going to take a few Stampin' Dimensionals of the large variety. Oh yes, my husband for tack welding, yes. I couldn't do a real tack weld if I had to. I mean, I suppose if I had to, I could, but I don't really, I'm not very good at it. So I'm putting dimensionals under the 2 side flowers, And then I'm going to put another glue dot or two under the middle flower, like this. And this is what I'm going to build my silver metallic thread element. I don't know if you could see that was in there. See the silver metallic thread? Okay. Pick those up. Okay, now I want the most of the loops coming out the top, so that's where I will just focus them. And that is about the extent of the science behind my loops. Like, there really isn't any science at all. It's all just kind of make-believe. Make it up as you go. It's supposed to be art, right? All right, and if you don't like how it's going, just cut a little piece off, and then you can add some more. And you know, the silver thread is your choice. You can do it or not. I like it. I like to add the threads in a collage card because I think it gives some more layers and a little more depths. And you can add as few or as many as you like. Just keep looping until your heart says, there it is. There it is. Yeah. All right. And then I do a little turnover to see. And I think I want a little more right there, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off and start another loop like that. And stick it on that dimensional right there. There we go. Yeah, baby. Uh-huh. Thank you, Susan. Looks like a hidden Mickey. You need to get a girl dog and then you'd call everything her. Mm-hmm. I have a friend who calls everything him or her with no regard to what the actual sex is anyway, so it's okay. All right, so if you'll remember, I have a dimensional here and a dimensional there, and what I'm going to do is add just a little more liquid glue to this middle flower to give it just a little extra, because all it's got is a couple of glue dots. All right. And let's see, before I do that, let me not screw the pooch up here. All right, I'm gonna put my Sentimente on. Okay, right about there with some liquid glue. Okay, here we go. Push him over a little bit because I want him to overlap. And push him down. Okay, now pick up our flowers. I almost messed it up. Thanks, Dee. I appreciate that. I like the extra little silver pieces. All right. And we're just going to set that like so. I'm not giving it a solid push yet, and I'm going to show you why. Because I want to be able to stick some liffes under there, and I want to be sure I have space to do that. So we'll get some bigger glue dots to do my leaves. I love these leaf trinkets. These are one of my favorite new things for sure. And you get silver or copper. Well, silver and copper in the pack. All right, so I'm going to stick this one under here. Like that. Okay. And then I got a couple of single ones. I'm going to stick this over here. And collages are kind of loosey-goosey. They're not always this identical every time, but... And then one more. And he's gonna go right there. I'm gonna pick that little tack weld up a little bit and get that shoved in, just like that. Right there, just like that. All right, and then I'm gonna give these a good press with their Stampin' Dimensionals, like that, and there we go. And there's the card front. What you think? You like? I kind of like. I think it's pretty. Got a little carried away with the silver loops, but that's all right. Carried away is better than undercarried, or something like that. Yes. Yep, the leaves are perfect, aren't they? This is one of my favorite things. But wait, look, I've got a pack right here with the copper ones. Look how pretty these copper ones are. Aren't those gorgeous? Silver and copper. Nice. Alrighty. Yeah, let's put those away. Stop playing, Mary. Stop playing. Thank you, ladies. All right. Now, on the inside, now I'm going to pull out my Thoughts and Prayers sentiment. And I'm going to try my Stamp-A-Majig Stamparatus clues here again. Take my piece of white cardstock. I'm going to show you what I had a little trouble with when I made this to start with. So let's see if I can untroublify it. How about that? Now, here's the thing. If you put your cardstock up in this corner and then you need to twist it, you can't. I learned that the hard way after I made this. Oh, thank you, Brooke. That's very sweet. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm moving the cardstock out into the middle, so I have room to move it to get everything lined up. And I can tell you what, I can still stamp a crooked sentiment. Yes, indeed, even with a Stamp-A-Majig and a Stamparatus both. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with my sentiment. This is the one from Thoughts and Prayers. Make sure it is right side up. And I'm going to put it generally where I want it, which is in the middle of the cardstock. Okay. And pick it up. Then I'm going to put my positioner in the corner. I'm going to ink this up. This is going to be, hey Twyla, glad to see you. Thank you, Eunice. I'm going to ink this up with Grapefruit Grove, like that. And I'm stamping the positioner. And then I'm going to attempt to see straight, keep my positioner in the corner, and then I'm just going to kind of move the cardstock around. That looks pretty straight. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up the positioner and put my magnet down. And I'm going to go ahead and use a second magnet on this. Ink my stamp again. Man, I am so glad that Alicia clued me into that video because I was stressing. I'm not even going to lie. I was stressing about that a little bit. So it was the dog, the pig, the Stamp-A-Majig. Good Lord. All right, and that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to take that and call it good. Clean off my stamp here. I really like this sentiment. I'll be sorry to see that particular sentiment go. All right, now I'm going to pick up my cardstock here. Set Mr. Stampopotamus aside. And then I'm going to take the detailed flower image from Eclectic. I'm going to ink it with the Grapefruit Grove. Thank you, Sharon. Day of yard work and a shower was both. Oh, yes, I think you would want a shower after a day of yard work. Glad you could make it regardless, Ginger. So I've inked this in Grapefruit Grove. I'm going to stamp it off once. I'm going to stamp it off again. And then I'm going to stamp it right over the top of my sentiment. Just like that. And that is the inner liner done. While I have this out, let's go ahead and stamp the envelope. And this is no science to this at all, people. None. Zero. Now, if you wanted to get real fancy with this, you could, in fact, make a sticky note mask with this, cut it out, and then you could mask it and have them all piled up together. But I just did not want to do that, so I did not. All right. set that aside for a second, and let's go ahead and mat this up and get our card put together. Little liquid glue. Okay, onto our Grapefruit Grove mat. Thank you, Barbara. There we go. Yeah. You guys know what's coming on Tuesday, right? I mentioned it once. I'll mention it twice. Pre-order, early release, baby, of the Share What You Love bundles. Yay! So you can get some of that gorgeous paper and the stamp sets and some Grapefruit Grove ink and a couple other little goodies too. Got a little carried away with my glue there. Okay, and then just put him in his balmy blue, a new color in the Subtles collection. Balmy blue. Now, because the card front is already thick and heavy with the dimensionals, and you know what, look here. So this is how you do a card, people. When you see you've got a problem, you fix it. I don't like how that's all wiggly wobbly, so I'm going to put another dimensional under that flower just to give him a little support, like that. And that one's a little wiggly wobbly too, so I'll put another one under him as well. Yes, another request from Stampin' Up! For your money, and we all will comply. Anybody watch Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? That's what all of the, oh God, who are the octopus people? I've forgotten. I'll think of it later, and then I won't call any of you to tell you. All right, just sticking a dimensional under there to give him a little support, because he wasn't supported. I like to be supportive. Anywho, what I was telling you is, since this is such a thick card, I am using just liquid glue, whereas normally I would pop this on with Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm not doing that. We've got lots and lots of thickness already. Right, so I'm just going to use liquid glue. Double check that I'm right side up. Not that I have ever put a card front on upside down. I think I've all told y'all that I actually did a card that I did upside down, and I sent it to my husband for his birthday. I figured he could handle it. All right, there we go. And there is our card. We're gonna quick like a bunny fix the finish the envelope off with a little more of the Share What You Love DSP. Thank you, Twyla. The colors are beautiful. No, Mary, I do not. I want you to personally take responsibility for keeping Stampin' Up! In business. And we'll see whether you or I get there quicker to keep them going. Because I'm pretty sure I'll be doing more ordering even on Tuesday, even though I've already pre-ordered. I'll probably pre-order again. All right, so I'm just putting that down, kind of scooching it down a little bit from the very edge, giving it a rub, and looking for my skizzers. Here they are. I'll get that cut. Guys, in the new catalog, there are die sets that have envelope liners in them. I'm so excited to get them. Okay, and there we go. Done ya. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Donna. Appreciate it. Should have just cut it down and put it into a new carpet. Could have done that, but I was TDY at the time, and I simply didn't have the time or the gumption at that moment. So there we go. We've used some new products, the lovely floral dynamic teeth, which is wonderful. Share What You Love DSP. 5/8 inch polka dot tulle ribbon. Some beautiful leaves trinkets. And the painted glass stamp set. Then we have the Oh-So Eclectic stamp set with the flower bundled with the Eclectic Layers thinlits. And the retiring Thoughts and Prayers stamp set. So let me just give you one last reminder since it's 8:45. If you go on my blog, you'll see a spot. Tomorrow morning, you can click a bigifiable, that's a new word, I just made it up. Click the picture of the flyer and you will be able to open it up and see that there are 3 bundles that you can choose from. Just go ahead and have it all because you know you want it, you know you do. You can get the new in colors and you can get some a la carte goodies. Okay? All righty. Anybody have any questions? All right. I am going to sign off and start answering comments. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks. Bye-bye.